Hi everyone, really important topic here, efficiency, last in your booklets. Please turn to the appropriate page and have your highlighters at hand. In terms of this efficiency, could you make a little note to yourself? This is definitely coming up in the exam and you're going to need to use it multiple times. So this is one of those absolute must-know topics. I'm just going to give myself a little highlighter here a second. So bear with me and we're up and running. Okay, three main types of economic efficiency that are mentioned on the syllabus. These are them: allocated, productive and dynamic, and we're going to go through those one by one in addition to some other forms of efficiency as well. Okay, things that you need to be able to do. There are three key types of efficiency: allocated, productive, dynamic. There's another one I haven't referred to here actually. X in efficiency we'll talk about, but we'll also talk about social and Pareto efficiency. Okay, just as a little bit of a backdrop, you've got a demand and supply diagram there where the two intersect. At that point it maximizes consumer and producer surplus. If I just forward on here a second, a new term, and you can add this. So take 30 seconds to add that to your notes. Where consumer and producer surplus is maximized, that also maximizes community surplus. Okay, so just write that in very quickly in the appropriate place in your notes. Okay, while you guys are just finishing that off, don't worry about this for the time being because we haven't defined the term yet, but allocative efficiency will also maximize total consumer welfare at that output. And lots of people have mentioned the term within answers over the last 12 months. What do we mean about economic efficiency? Well, we know that there's going to be a number of different definitions for this now, which is going to give us a little bit more depth. But broadly speaking, in terms of economic efficiency, it basically relates to making the optimal use of scarce resources. Okay, so as an overall definition, that's what we're referring to. Okay, last bit of background information. So really, what are we referring to here? Efficiency, it's about making optimal use of those scarce resources to do what? Satisfy changing needs and wants. And in terms of this, this is all about satisfying customers. Normally, the market system, the invisible hand of the market, is very good at allocating resources. However, I think we are aware there are instances where markets fail, and that may not be the case. And as a result of that, efficiency may not be maximized. Okay, the first example of allocative efficiency, please highlight this in your notes. This is an absolute must know. And in terms of allocative efficiency, must know this definition. This is achieved when the allocation of resources maximizes society's utility or benefit. Now, the WJC have come up with a term or a phrase that they're particularly keen on at the moment, and basically refer to or allocative efficiency. They say it occurs where price is equal to the resource cost of production. Now, basically that means where price is equal to marginal cost. Okay, so if you have a diagram where price is equal to marginal cost, then it will be allocatively efficient because it's equal to the resource cost of production. Now, I just want to take 30 seconds or so just to explain what that means. If you think of what price is, well, price is the value that we place on a good or service. If we spend 60p, it's because we think a good or service is worth 60p. Now, if that price is equal to the marginal cost okay, the cost of producing that extra unit of output, okay, society cannot be any better off. Okay, we thought it was worth 60p and it cost 60p to make. How could we be more efficient than that? And that is what we mean by allocative efficiency. Okay, no need to be overly concerned about this, but when you do go to revision, one of the places where you will find allocative efficiency is in a perfectly competitive market in the long run. Just in terms of what you do know already, and again, don't be concerned if this doesn't stick at the moment, but try and understand it obviously. If price is always the same, okay, which we'll come to in due course, but if the price of a good was always 10p, for example, okay, so that means every unit you sell, you get 10p, which means your marginal revenue is always 10p. And if your marginal revenue is always 10p, that means the average revenue a firm will get will also be 10p. So that explains your demand curve there. So demand is equal to marginal revenue is equal to average revenue is equal to price. Okay, don't worry about anything other than you know that's a marginal revenue curve. Now, in terms of this, you guys know now, following our last topic, that firms will produce where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue because that maximizes their profits. So they will produce at a level Q2. And in this instance, at that point, price is equal to marginal cost, because where MC is equal to MR, where the firm produces, that is also equal to price. So we have our situation of allocative efficiency. Okay, price is equal to marginal cost, or the resource cost of production. Our second major type of efficiency that we need to look at is productive efficiency. Please highlight that in your notes. Now, this is achieved when production is achieved at the lowest cost possible. Now, in the short run, we know that firms, if they produce at the bottom of their average cost curves, okay, that will be productively efficient. Okay, how do we know where that is? Well, we know as a mathematical certainty that MC cuts AC at its lowest point. Okay, MC cuts AC at its lowest point. Okay, so that will be productively efficient in the short run. Now, in the long run, you can see if this is a long run average cost curve, then you can see a situation where the firm initially benefits from economies of scale, but potentially diseconomies of scale can occur. That will become clearer on the next diagram. Okay, so have a little look at the long run average cost curve, and obviously as firms experience and benefit from economies of scale, you can see that in the long run they are moving to the most productively efficient point. That will obviously, or that can only occur where the firm has attained minimum efficient scale, so MES, so they've fully exploited all economies of scale. If at some point, and you can obviously we would probably want to see a horizontal or constant returns to scale at this point, but this is a bit more of an envelope diagram. If there are rising diseconomies of scale, it means that the firm can no longer be productively efficient in the long run. Okay, our third type of efficiency, dynamic efficiency. And in terms of this, your definition, it occurs where resources are allocated efficiently over time. Now, what that means is that it's related very much to innovation. So money put into research and development, it means that there's been technological progress and, very importantly, better quality products. So that may be new products or improved products. And also new production techniques as well. So this is all following research and development. Now, this is an economist name that you need to know, Joseph Schumpeter. He coined the term creative destruction. And basically that means there's been an upheaval in the market in the pursuit of innovation. So a good example of this is the Uber taxi model, and whether or not the impact the Uber taxi model, and think about the impact on other taxi firms. Okay, so smaller firms, chains of taxi drivers, who went out of business because of the Uber model. Okay, and quite often you'll get these smaller businesses who come in and they challenge existing firms' market power. So a good example, Lidl and Aldi in terms of the supermarket model. Taking this a step further, just in terms of dynamic efficiency, obviously this should result in more choice, better quality products, better performance, and that's really important. In terms of the real world, we've talked about product improvement, so think about design, think about performance, think about that increase in choice. And in the real world, look at these examples. You've got to be able to quote your own examples, but the foldable smartphones, the latest virtual reality headsets, and so on. In terms of X inefficiency, efficiency occurs where the output of firms from a given amount of input is the greatest it can be. Normally would occur in a highly competitive market. However, X inefficiency occurs normally where there are a small number of firms dominating a market, monopolies, oligopolies. They're protected by entry barriers. There's little pressure to behave efficiently and minimize costs. So have a look for this blue circle. Okay, productive efficiency is the yellow circle, but X inefficiency means that you would be producing above that. Average costs are higher than they need to be because there's little pressure to behave efficiently. Okay, social efficiency means that firms would be producing at our social optimum, where marginal social cost is equal to marginal social benefit. So all external costs and benefits have been taken into account. But where firms have not taken into account those costs and benefits, it would mean that a firm is operating at a socially inefficient point. Okay, and there must be some form of market failure occurring. Okay, stress that. Okay, if firms don't consider external costs or benefits, okay, they would not be socially efficient and market failure would be occurring. Okay, the last of our main types is Pareto efficiency. You can relate this back to when we were talking about productive possibility frontiers at the start of your AS year. And Pareto efficiency basically says it's impossible to make one party better off without making another worse off. Okay, so that means the firm is operating on its frontier. Now, this can only occur, and this is very important that you understand this. This can only occur if all markets are perfectly competitive, because perfectly competitive markets are both allocatively and productively efficient. Don't worry about that. We'll go through that when we get to that topic. And resources are also allocated in line with consumer preferences. So these are the preconditions for Pareto efficiency to occur. Okay, very important to know. Okay, there's another term that you may come across in your reading, static efficiency. And in terms of static efficiency, it basically refers to making the most efficient use of scarce resources at a point in time. And it involves two main concepts that we've talked about already: allocative efficiency, so producing where P is equal to marginal cost or price is equal to the resource cost of production, and also whether or not productive efficiency is occurring at the lowest point on a short or long run average cost curve. Okay, and there is an overview of key efficiency concepts. Okay, this should be a very important video for you. Please make sure that you ensure all concepts are committed to long-term memory.